Hey everyone, hope this works. I haven't used this program before. Uh, this is a story about my life. I don't know what episode I'm up to now. It's about how I've been abused in life, uh, battled depression, been poisoned, been raped, been abused, being made fun of. It's all in this vid. There is some language and probably some things not appropriate for children. So yeah, look away now. Otherwise, yeah, like and subscribe my channel. Share this vid because this is very in depth. Ignore the Logitech logo at the bottom of the screen. I don't know how to get rid of that. Um, so where do I start? Well, I think I was basically born with depression because I've had it since I was a very young age. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder when I was young. Um, I had issues with my head since I was a little age. I was always schizo. Um, I didn't think my disabilities would come into my adult life when I was that young. I was born deaf in my right ear, so um, I only found that out actually when I was in year three at high school, oh, primary school, and yeah, they found out I was deaf in my right ear, so I have no hearing whatsoever. Um, but you wouldn't notice it. Um, have only one kidney as well. When I was young, they removed the kidney for unknown reasons. So I've battled for a lot of things in my life, whether it's health and other things. Um, being bullied as well at work was the shits. But you know, being wrongfully fired would have that was pretty bad. And then, like I've talked about on this series, where my first love, my first breakup really set me down a downward spiral. More information on that is in Story of My Life, I think episode 1, My First Love. I think that's the name of the title. Don't quote me on that. It is pretty late at night. Um, so let's start with being drugged. Um, this is very bad. Uh, I was dating the wrong sort of girl, and I was going through a stage in my life where I thought I couldn't do better, so I'd go for anybody. And this girl always cheated on me. She'd lie to me. She'd abuse me. Um, until one night, she wanted to go to a friend's place for a couple of drinks. Just me, her, my friend, and my friend's boyfriend. Weird ass guy. I'm like, all right, might as well. Got dropped off there. Everything was cool. Then someone said, "Oh, who's gonna buy the drinks?" Obviously, because I've got the money, I have to go buy the drinks. This is coming from the guy that wanted the drinks in the end, anyway. So I went and got some alcohol. I'm not a drinker, so this was very bad for me. Uh, we were drinking and drinking, and stuff, and something just seemed off because the other guy, he was in his own world. The missus was talking to him, and we got to a stage where we need to go back and get another bottle of alcohol. So we did. And by the way, I'm never having red wine again. um, they were acting weird all night, my girlfriend and the other guy. So I was I must have had my back turned like just for a second, and my glass was the other side of the room. Didn't think of anything at the time, but they kept looking at each other, the boy and my missus, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So I had a drink, and I was like, something's not right here. I'm feeling weird. So I quickly made a text to my friend and my parents saying, come pick me up. Something just doesn't seem right. So I'm getting a bit dizzy, getting a bit woozy, and I'm thinking, oh shit. And I see like my whole body just going stiff like this, and I can't move. And then I dropped onto the bed, and the missus and the guy walked out. Remaining was me and the other girl. The other girl was smiling, going, "Hey, sexy," and I'm like, "What?" I can barely even move here. And she jumped on top of me and started making out me. And I was like, oh, I can't move. I'm fucking stiffed. And it was really disgusting because I wasn't attracted to the girl at all. Um, she actually did stick her hand down my pants, but she heard footsteps coming down the corridor, so she stopped. And she's in a chair at the side of the room. I'm just there on the bed going, I'm not feeling so well. I want to go. The missus walks in. She's just like, what the fuck are you doing in the bed like that? So she punched me real hard in the gut, dragged my whole body down the corridor of the house, very short corridor, then threw me out onto the front lawn. Like, get the fuck out of this house, Rara. I'm thinking, I haven't even done anything. And then she grabbed my head and smashed it and kept going into the concrete. Um, got my phone that I had on me at the time, ditched it. And to this day, we don't know where the phone actually ended up. It probably like went down, like, one of the gutters and washed into the stormwater drains, so washed away. Lucky my mum and dad came pick me up. Lucky I made that text. My friend came and also was there, and the girlfriend's like, "How am I fucking getting home?" So lucky for my mate, he drove her home. Got back home. Don't remember too much. I just know I was throwing up and being sick. Mum and dad had to put me under the shower, and I was just, I still couldn't move. It was freezing cold water, and I still couldn't move. So yeah, the girl drugged me. The other girl did what she did. I was violated, but obviously, it took years to get off that because I couldn't like literally break up with the girl even after all that. Even though she lies to me, she cheats on me, and all that. It came to a situation where I was like, long story short, when I did get the courage to break up with her, I think it was New Year's Eve. I was in town playing poker at the casino. She messaged me saying, "You want to catch up? I'm in the city." Mm-hmm. So we're walking down the street with one of her friends. Her ex-boyfriend pops up down there. She runs to him, gives him a hug, like, "How you going?" All that. And they're both looking at me, and I'm like, "You can fucking have him." Like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm out of here. Um, so I ditched her that night. Didn't speak to her for a very long time after that. Um, Long story short, the best thing that happened was one night years and years ago, I messaged her on Facebook saying, "Look, who was in the wrong in our relationship and what happened?" She goes, "Look, I'm sorry I cheated on you, Andre. You weren't a bad bloke. I was the fucked up one. You did nothing wrong. You're a good guy. Don't ever forget that." And I'm like, "That's cool. I got resolution. Bang. See you later." Never got to speak to her again. Thank God for that. So that was pretty fucked up. But the time I got raped was the worst one. Now, you may think that should be included there as rape. You can be the judge of that. Like I said, what happened there, I don't want to talk about that too much. It just did. Um, but when I got raped was, man, you may hear girls say they get raped all the time and all the stuff, but you never hear a guy's side of the story. Here's mine. All right. Well, I had a friend that was there for me for a lot of breakups, and she was dating my nephew, which is only a couple of years younger than me. So she's dating him, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, bit of a dark place right now. I just, want to be left alone." She's like, "I'll come pick you up and we'll go hang out in the plaza." That's a shopping center, by the way. Um, and I was like, okay. And like, she's tried to hook me up with a couple of her friends before, but that's a different story. Anyway, we went there and we're talking away, and she's like, "So you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Excuse me? Do you want to have sex with me in the car?" I'm like, "No, I'll be fine, thank you. You're dating my nephew. That's wrong." And she's like, "Well, you've got no choice in the matter." I'm like, "Well, what's that supposed to mean?" And she's like, "Well, you're in a good behavior bond with the police, so you do as I say, or I'll report you for rape." And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, that is so not fair because I have to behave myself. And to this day, I've still got no convictions, by the way. I've appeared in court, but I've done no time in jail. Been in a holding cell a few times, but I've got no convictions anyway, and I want to keep it that way. So she's like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. And I was like, shit, I really don't want to fuck up, because I know in court it's always the guy that gets blamed when it's a situation like this. And I said no, sorry, just take me home. She threw me in the back seat, ripped my fly open my jeans, had her way with me, and she goes, you don't say anything to anybody. And I'm like, you think I'm gonna say anything to anybody? I don't even want this. And I kept pulling away, and she's like, she slapped me in the face and said, stiff shit. And she had her way with me. I got home. I was crying in the shower for like 2 hours. I felt violated. I felt so abused. And because she was a big girl, this is why to this day I don't like big girls. Not just what happened in the what I just talked about before with the whole drugging me and stuff, but happening again a second time was like, fucking hell, man, really? And no joke, I was so scared when I got home. And you know, the fact that she's a compulsive liar, and she, I'm sorry if I get a bit emotional because it still affects me to this day. I just thought that I had no choice in the matter. I had nothing, no one to go to, no one to talk about this with. Um, if karma has told me anything, that now she's stuck by herself, 3 or 4 kids, changed her name, and she's in a messed up place. And so lucky I didn't get her. Well, lucky I didn't catch anything, because I was worried about that more than anything. But the fact that I had to go through that, I would not recommend that for any guy. If I was to say anything to guys, record your, have a recording device on your phone, so that way if something like this does happen, you've always got evidence to back you up in court. Take down notes, like if you're going somewhere, write a note down in your room, so that way if you don't come home, someone knows who you were with, what time and where. So just saying that. I've been used. Now I'm going to jump to the next subject of being used. I didn't have much to offer a girl growing up. I didn't have much looks. I didn't have a car until recently. But I had the cash. And a lot of girls would date me just so I could buy them alcohol or drugs or cigarettes. And I was always used. And the worst thing is, it wasn't just about being used, it was about being used and getting cheated on. One example was, I'll give you two. When I broke up with my first love, I met up with one of my ex-girlfriends. She had a kid, and bit new to me, dating someone that had a kid. Uh, she was alright for a while. Like, she was gorgeous, the sex was great, wild. Um, but I was the one that had to fork out the money to look after her and her kid. I had to put some money on the bills. I had to pay for food shopping, and it was horrible when her brothers with their mates used to come over and drink the food and drink the drinks that I paid for my girlfriend and her kid. Um, I was getting used. It got to a stage where I wanted out of the relationship, so I did something stupid. Um, One day I was on my way to her place, and I noticed some dude running down the street, and I'm thinking, what's that? Well, long story short, her house just got broken into. All right, and to this day, I think it's the guy that just ran down the street, and I know it's a setup to this day. So I walked into the house, and what do you think I saw? Nothing stolen, just a house trash. So I was like, well, I want out of this relationship. So I called her. She wasn't home. And she's like, oh, not shocked. It's, oh, I'll be there soon. So I'm like, I don't want to put up with this. So I told the cops that I did it, and got arrested that day. Stupid, yes, but I wanted out. Later on down the track, my lawyer cleaned everything up, and I got no convictions, no anything. You know why? Because the stupid bitch didn't appear in court. So, yeah, to this day, I think it was someone that she knew that was the guy running down the street. So it was all set up to plant for me. So it was all a setup, and I walked into it. But the funny thing is, after that, I reckon she had a boyfriend at the time, because when we had to go to court, she was apparently at her boyfriend's place. So that's why she didn't rock up to court. And also, funny thing is, she got pregnant and few months, well, 9. You know how the months thing goes. Later on, she had a kid. Now, so I'm thinking to myself, well, number one, I'm glad I'm not the father, but number two, that guy is. So I got myself out of a really good situation there, where I was like, fuck, man, I could have been the father of a kid. Now, to this day, I've still got no kids. God. So, yeah, that was pretty rough for me. It's funny, I was working at the time in a place where I was getting bullied, and believe it or not, that was a distraction that I needed. Now, I don't drink. I drink maybe every so often. Just when I go out, I'll have maybe a Jim Beam and Coke or a Jack and Coke. I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I just don't hang around the wrong sort of people, because in my life, my health's fucked as it is. So, I've got to behave myself. But the fact that living with depression is one of the hardest things to do in life. Some mornings I just don't even want to get up. Some days I just don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. Since I got wrongfully fired from my job, which I think the video is also on this YouTube page. Check it out and you'll see why I'm the way I am. But I think the problem is it all goes back to one incident with my first love, where, and I admit this to you all, when I was in an abusive relationship with my first love, and I'm telling you, that was all my fault. She was an angel. She didn't deserve the crap what she went through. I had an issue, a mental issue. I didn't want to get it assessed at the time. I would lash out at her. I would get into fist fights with her, and it breaks my heart to say that, because I love her so much. And you know, realizing I had a problem then, maybe I'd still be with her today, my first love. There's more information in the vid on here about my first love, but I had to straighten myself out when me and her broke up. And the fact that she had to go through so much abuse, and I couldn't wish that upon any girl. And since that day, I've not done anything to a girl. In fact, I've become a pussy, really. I've become weak. I've been very emotional. That's why I love my affection. I love the attention I get from anybody, whether it's male or female. I guess that's why my friends are females, because I like their company over males. I despise males, to be honest. I'm not a sort of guy that's going to go hang out with my male mates. I'd rather hang out with my female mates. And also, being in a relationship where, my female mates mean the most to me, when I'm in my current relationship, it's hard to even talk to them, because I'll cop it from the missus. So I live a very dark and painful life, even to this day. Whereas, if I was to find somebody, the girl would have to, have a job at least, or at least drive too, because, they got to drive. Because I don't like being the one that drives backwards and forwards everywhere. They've got to have aspirations, they've got to have goals, they've got to be educated, at least. It's not always about looks. I've always told everyone this. It's not always about looks. It's the connection, the chemistry, the mutual things you have in common. But for me, there has to be some sort of physical appearance. My type of girl, like I've said, has always been skinny, attractive, anything that looks good in a dress. That's my thing. I've always been. And by the way, if I'm looking that way or that way, because the camera's like there, but I look down, because I'm not turning on the main light, so I've got my side light going on there. I hope you like what's going on in the background there. If you don't see it, it's just the river and stuff. Anyway, I would just like to say, if you are going through abuse or depression, there are phone numbers out there you can contact. For me, they don't help because I don't like talking to people, especially over the phone. In fact, to this day, if you were to call me, I don't pick up the phone. It could be, a girlfriend or parents. I pick up for my parents, but that's it. If I see a number that I don't recognize, I don't pick it up. It's that anxiety that kicks in. Like I'm like, I don't want to, because I had an instant where I've picked up the phone a couple of times and gotten absolutely abused and death threats, and that's why I don't pick up the phone. But please, if you do have a friend that you know is in trouble, go that bit extra to look out for them. Go that bit extra to say, hey, I'm there for you. And believe me, I know a couple of relationships right now where I think, fuck, people should get the fuck out of them. Like, I have so many female friends where they're so blind and they're trapped and they need to get out, but they won't get out because they're scared about the ramifications. It's like I know people that are single living with their exes, and you're like, no, 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 don't do it. It's that ex will control you for the rest of your life, and he will make sure that you don't have friends. He'll make sure that you don't have a boyfriend or a social life ever again. Believe me. So that's all I want to say on this subject. I think there's probably stuff I've missed. Like I said, the cheating I've had all my life. Like, I'm used to it now. If anyone would say, do I still have a heart? Do I have a heart? Uh, um, no, because Alicia Bell, my first love, broke it all those years ago, and it's never been healed ever since. Something's there inside that gives off some sort of love, but the heart factor, it's broken, it's black, and I don't think anyone could change that for the world unless I get the girl of my dreams come and see me and say I want to be with you. It's not going to happen. Um, it's kind of why I don't want to get married or have kids. Marriage could always change if I find the right girl down the line, because we don't know where the future lies for us. Kids, with my medical problems, like my hearing, like I said, I've got only one good ear. I've only got one good kidney. I self-catheterize without going into details. Just look that up. I don't even have a working function bladder, so yeah, it really sucks to be me. But I look at people that are in worst case scenario, like at least I can enjoy what I have, and it's because of my religion, because I am a Christian and I believe in the Lord God, Lord Jesus, and everything that the Lord's done for me, I'm very grateful for. That's why I'm very honored to have the things I have. Without the Lord, I wouldn't have those things. And I haven't talked about my religion very often, but that's what I am. I'm a Christian. I'm not a good Christian by far means. I do swear, I do sexual activities, but at the end of the day, none of us are perfect. And I mean, like, I was going to save myself for marriage. That's how dedicated I was. I pray every night, even for my enemies, especially for my family. I even pray for my dog, which that may seem weird to you, but and I just pray that the world gets better, because there's just so much killing going on in the world that doesn't need to happen. There's a lot of deaths that don't need to happen. I think at the end of the day, it's the bad people that should be dead. Not the innocent people. I understand about natural disasters is one thing, but when these people like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong Il get to walk and breathe, it's disgusting. Those people should be dead, because those people are the ones that kill people, and they're known to kill people, and they're not in jail. They're living up in their fancy mansions and their castles, getting all the blood money that they want. And it's just disgusting where there's people that are good people dying of cancer, good people getting wrongfully murdered, and it's just a bad society we live in. And I think at the end of the day, if the world is going to come to an end, it's because of man. It's not because of a typhoon, maybe global warming, but it's man's going to kill each other at the end of the day. We're going to have a war and everything's just going to blow up. Like, let's just be honest. Um, am I afraid of death? Yeah, I am. I mean, I believe I'm going to heaven, but people may be different on that. Um, But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to. I know it was a bit weird and a bit dark, this vid, but at least you know a bit more about me. You see why I am the way I am. I've got no one to blame but myself. It's bad when I even went to a psychologist and she even stopped seeing me because I can't be helped. That's pretty bad, eh? When when a psychiatrist or psychologist, one of the the person you see and you talk to and they tell you about your problems and stuff, those people, yeah, mine stopped seeing me because I couldn't be helped. Great, that's how messed up I am. So yeah, if you ever see me uh, doing weird shit on Facebook or YouTube, it's all for entertainment sakes, like the cross dressing, the singing, the dancing. It's all entertainment because at least if when I pass away, I can leave something behind for people that don't know me or do know me. And YouTube is a great thing where even after you're dead, you're still gonna have people watch you. So it's kind of creepy in a way, but at least to like maybe someone that I don't even know watches this YouTube vid and goes, I've gone through the same thing that Andre guy's gone through. Maybe I can learn by his mistakes. Like some of the videos on here, the information that I've given has helped people. In fact, I actually saved marriage in one of my vids. It's on something about relationships or something. Like I did a vid on relationships, and there was a married couple that was going through a bit of a rough patch. And believe me, that's kind of the reason why I don't get married, because I don't like divorce, and I think a piece of paper doesn't change anything at the end of the day. If you love someone, you love someone. But apparently, I saved a marriage, and I was like, wow, that's you know a good thing when your advice can help others. Now, blackmailing is one thing. Like I know people stay with their partners because they don't want to lose their kids, but at the end of the day, especially if you're a woman, you at least get half custody. So I'm not being sexist, but that's the way the courts work in the favor. So if you're in a relationship where you want to be out, but you're worried about the kid situation, if there's no love there, just go. Just if you want your freedom to do whatever you want, just do it. Take a break off, move to another state, go on a holiday. Because I know a lot of relationships out there where the partner wants out, but they're worried about the kid situation, or they're worried that something might happen to them or the people they associate with. So, and this vid is directed at some people on my Facebook on that. I'm not going to say names, but you do have the power to walk away. And if the male is the problem and he's threatening you or abusing you, there's a thing called the police. Just saying. Or a friend to come pick you up. So if the guy wants to say something, yeah, not touching the subject. So thank you all for watching. I haven't done a vid for a while on here, only because I've been sick. I've been tired. I've been just, drained. I'm still drained now, actually, believe it or not. And it's freezing cold, so I'm going to hop into bed. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm only a small channel, so help spread the word. Just share this vid with people so they know that they're not alone in their battles. Hopefully this vid came out alright. I'll have to watch it back because I'm not used to using this program, because the other program, Windows Movie Maker, is just doesn't pick up the camera for some reason. It picks it up and then turns it off. So I'm using the Logitech software. So yeah, hopefully this is better. It seems better visually, but I don't know how I sound. So yeah, stay tuned to the next episode. I don't know what's coming up, but hey, watch all the old vids about Story of My Life. Watch Shock the System, and there may be a return of a alter ego of mine coming back soon called Kid Rocker. He's the guy, with the long black hair, the sunglasses, and the cowboy hat. Yeah, he's got some good issues to talk about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Kid Rocker episodes. My alter ego. It's just uncensored profanity. It's just great. Great entertainment. No subject not touched there. And he's got something to say about a few things. So just heads up there. So thank you for watching. I know it's a 30-minute vid. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.